It's difficult to make a horror game unique these days. The genre has been around for so long and has produced so many great games that it's become one of the more popular styles to develop for. And then there's Deadness. Deadness is a VR horror game, and yes, Deadness is a word, I looked it up. Where most of the appeal in VR horror is the freedom to move and explore as you like, the horror of Deadness is how it limits the player. You're confined to a wheelchair, and the only method of movement is to push yourself around just as you would in the real world. This sets up a type of fear that I haven't really experienced before, the fear of not being able to physically get away. You move by putting your arms to the sides of your chair and pushing forward. Turning is done by pushing on one side, and that moves you either left or right. You can grab items, place them on your lap to use at a later time. It looks like there are more mechanics as well, but unfortunately I wasn't able to make it far enough to see much else. Deadness was developed and optimized for the VIVE and Index, and it reminds you of this when you start the game up. So unfortunately, at the moment for Oculus users, you will run into issues if you try and play it with your current headset. I know because I'm stubborn, and that's what I did. So just keep that in mind in this video. If something looks off or looks like I'm struggling, it wasn't meant to be played on my current setup. I started the game and appeared in a dilapidated, dirty looking room. The graphics are nice and the level of detail was very good. The developers did a good job at making this place unwelcoming. I moved forward and was able to yank some boards out of the doorway and moved into the hallway. In one direction I was blocked by steam, so I turned around and went the other way down the hall. Movement wasn't too bad. If you've ever been in a wheelchair in real life, then it's pretty much the same thing. The thing is, you have to be seated to play. And not only that, I would occasionally hit the armrest of my chair as I played, so you may want to use a regular one while playing. I came upon a bathroom. I knew something was probably going to happen by the looks of it, but that still got me. And it was the first instance of, oh, I had when playing the game. What was I supposed to do about that? I couldn't turn fast enough, I couldn't fight back. I reached into the toilet and got the ID, and for some reason the music picked up. I wasn't able to turn around and see if something was supposed to be coming at me, but it made me uneasy regardless. I found the door that opens with the keycard and went inside to find that this was where I turned off the steam. Interactable items have a yellow glow to them, which was really helpful given how dark the game is. After turning the steam off, I continued down the hallway and had a door apparently lock on me, forcing me to go back and investigate. I filled the generator up with gas and pulled the cord to start it back up. The sound design is probably my favorite aspect of Deadness. Everything is loud. I made it back to the door and it opened itself for me, which I thought was very polite since I was trying to figure out what the best way to position myself would be to get it open while staying out of the way. I came into another room with a code to Lab 1 and a tape player. Up to this point there had been no story whatsoever, so it was nice to finally get an idea of what was going on here. And apparently whatever it was, wasn't good.
He broke the straps! Bye!
I made it back to the keypad and found a good position to enter the code after turning a bit. So this wasn't good. I can see there's a glow over there and I don't think that guy was going to be friendly. I assumed there was some kind of puzzle here, so I wheeled around and saw that I was able to open one of the doors. I figured the solution was to pull this body out to distract the guy on the other side so I could go get that card and then exit the room. Pulling the body out was a bit of a pain. I couldn't align myself well and figure out the best spot, but eventually I got it on the ground. The monster started to come my way and was distracted by the body I threw on the floor. I wheeled myself over to the key card, and with flies buzzing all around me, I picked it up. As I went to exit the room, the monster noticed me, and I knew it was time to try and get away. I did as much as I could to escape, but the monster caught up with me. Not knowing what I did wrong, on my second try I made a mental note to try and be as precise as I could with my movements. Unfortunately, I panicked and got stuck on a wall. The third time I got stuck in the doorway. The next attempt I finally made it out and was doing well staying away from everything. I didn't really know where to go, so I turned into a room and went towards the other part of the hallway. Then this happened. I don't know where that guy came from. I figured it was the same monster I saw in the morgue, but how did he get here? I thought maybe I missed an item to defend myself with or something, but I looked around the best I could and I couldn't find anything. In my final attempt at escaping, I decided to take the long way around the hallway. As soon as I turned the corner, the monster was already waiting for me. I decided to call it here. I wasn't sure where the problem was or what I'd missed, but I tried everything I could think of to get away. I even started a new game and took a look around before getting to that point and found a makeshift bridge with another monster hanging out below. Now this was cool. I had to get across this thing by going as straight as I could, keeping the wheels on the boards. I made it across and found a door needing a key card. The key card I had picked up in the morgue. I really enjoyed Deadness, and I especially appreciate what the developers were trying to accomplish with it. I hope in the future they make it optimized for the Oculus headsets because I would love to keep playing the game as it was intended. If you're looking for something different in the realm of VR horror, definitely check this one out.